Hi guys. Hopefully it's beautiful by you. It's still very hot and humid in New York. So welcome. Happy Thursday. I hope everyone's doing well. So we are going to talk texture packs today. Misconception that you think that you could only achieve a really beautiful texture with just using either a texture hammer or a multifunction hammer with the different heads, but that can't be further from the truth. So when you're texturing, let's say ball peen, you have images, one on your impressions are one on top of the other, and you're sort of layering. Today we're going to use the texture packs that we have to create a pattern that's more of a solid pattern, consistently through an earring, not so much overlapping. Yeah, Maureen. So you know where I'm going with the hat. So hopefully I could pull something together over the weekend. But hi, Lori. Hi, Susan. So that's what we're gonna do today. I fell in love, and I know a lot of you saw this bracelet on my wrist, but I fell in love with, it is called Golden Rainbow Baby Blue. It's a stone. So we're gonna be using that in the center of these earrings that we're gonna make today. We're always stamping on alchemy. I think I'm gonna throw in some brass today because I really like how the brass looks with this bead that I have. So lately I've been, I take a bead, if you see behind me, it's a sea of blue because I am a lover of turquoise. So we are going to use that. So see, Carly, you never considered texture packs. See? So you don't only have to use my eyes are going to this ginormous wasp that's outside of the window right now, so I apologize for that. You don't only have to use your texture packs, in your texture hammer, in your multi-function hammer. You can use them on anything. I know one of the packs has a really nice tree bark design. You guys could take that one single, they are design stamps, so you could take that design stamp and use it on the bark of your Christmas tree ornament. So these are all things that you could use these stamp packs for. There's also another stamp pack that has multiple flower design on it and then a single flower design. So that's what I'm also going to show you today. Also cross hatching. It's really easy if you want that fluid texture instead of that repetitive texture on top of one another. So now I know I gave you guys a challenge yesterday. So if you go on ImpressArt, there are rules. Obviously, there's rules for every challenge. And the submission date, the last day, is going to be September 29th. So I, got the go ahead from everybody in the office before I actually apologized several times for just having my mouth and just going with it because everybody seems so excited about it. So Angie already checked that out. Well, welcome, Michelle. I'm glad that you're loving it. Welcome. You'll pick up a lot of tips and tricks, not only from me, but from your fellow stampers that watch this. Hi, Tracy. Welcome. I love all my newbies. Do we have anyone else who's joined us today? Don't be shy. Me, Jane, and Allie, we see new names all the time, but we don't really want to call you guys out. But if you want to bring attention to yourselves, we want to welcome you. So welcome, Michelle, and welcome, Tracy. And all my regulars, Angie, Rebecca, Francesca, let's show them some love, and Terry. And welcome them. So Stephanie, too. Welcome, everyone. And Julie, we have another newbie here. It's Julie. Very nice. And Lena, look at all you ladies. Fantastic. Yes, there is a detailed post on the challenge. Where to start, Michelle? So Michelle, if you're having any issues, I would definitely look on the School of Stamping, School of School of Stamping page first and take a look at those kits in order to get you started. If you have any questions, you could definitely reach out to Facebook, Instagram, or sales@ImpressArt, and we could help you. Kim, we do have retailers in Canada. We are also in Michael's. So you could definitely go to your Michael's. And Linda, she's from Maryland. I love this. Luann, you're a newbie too, even if it's just a month. Newbies are good. Cindy's a newbie. This is fantastic. So Judy, you're relatively new, but you haven't started stamping soon. So I promise you, if you sit down and you get your supplies and you learn your tools, like I say that all the time, learn your tools, you'll be a pro in no time. Thank you, Ruth. So yes, you will see, hi Pam G. So you will see that myself, Allie, and Jen will answer pretty much anything we can answer for you guys. Michelle's from Barbados. Michelle, really? Barbados. I could use a palm tree and a tropical drink. I could use that right now instead of it's very hot here. So Judy's from Chicago. So Jen actually posted a link, Jen or Allie, I'm not sure which one, for international store locations to better help you. I know, Kim, I know you see that, I know they don't have a lot, but we definitely ship to Canada. Well, I'm glad that they're motivating Maria. So welcome to all my newbies. Welcome to my regulars. Thank you so much for joining us again. Hi, Luann. So Lena, today's project, so guys, this is something that's super simple. Let's say you are a beginner, okay? And, you know, and let's be honest here. Sometimes people fear the hammer. I've hit my fingers more than once. I've been at trade shows demoing where I've had other people hit my hand with the hammer. So it's not, you know, it's a thing, but you don't have to, if you're holding the hammer the correct way and you're positioned the right way, you are not going to hit your hands. And we also, if you're that afraid of the hammer, we do have jigs to help you with holding your stamp in place. All right. But like I always tell you, and I know a lot of you have taken my classes before, okay? After your first blood blister on your finger, it's uphill from there. You won't be afraid of the hammer anymore. So you've come to the right place. Here we teach you your basics. I'm going to teach you how to line up your letters, how to get them in a straight line, your spacing's correct, the right way to use your product, the wrong way to use your product. I make mistakes. We troubleshoot through them. So welcome to our group. Welcome to our group. Hi, Rosalie. Oh, Wolfine, you have a South Florida. You have a storm heading your way today? Ooh. All right. I have a feeling that we will get some heat lightning lately because it's kind of really it's very hot here. So, all right. So without further ado, I'm going to take you over my block and I'm going to show you different techniques. Texturing is the easiest technique that you could learn. When I talk about, for my makers, when I talk about doing craft shows or farmers markets, working smarter, not harder, texturing is something that just looks so beautiful on metal that it catches people's eye and they automatically, no matter how many shows I've done, they automatically, the first thing, they go over to textured pieces. So when I talk about working smarter, not harder, texturing is definitely something that does sell, whether it's a bracelet, whether it's a ring, whether it's a pair of earrings that we're going to make today. Very, very, thank you, Erin. I have to give my 11-year-old. She watches a lot of tutorials and then she shows mom, but thank you very much. Thank you, Erin. So texturing is something that's very simple to do and it just makes a piece look so nice. So again, we're gonna go over, before I talk, and we're gonna make a pair of earrings and I'm gonna show you how you can sink a bead in the center. We could also use some crystals if you want. Really, the sky's the limit. All right. Okay. Shelly, yes, it does help you hide mistakes. Texturing definitely, especially when you're not working so much smarter. All right, so I'm gonna tip you guys over a little bit, and I'm just gonna show you some shapes that look really nice with those earrings. All right. So you ordered the dapping block, perfect. So anything from texturing and dapping brings your piece to a whole nother level. All right, so I'm gonna just show you these sizes. So this is an inch alchemy round. Let me pull you back just a little bit. Whoop. So then we have a 7/8 alchemy round. And we have, oh, Julie, I'm going to show you what a dapping block is. And I guarantee you, to all my newbies that haven't purchased yet, I'm thinking that texture and the dapping block will be your first purchase. So this is the brass, guys. Now remember, these are the premium blanks. They're nice and thick. They are not 24 gauge, okay? They are a beautiful thick metal, okay? They are jeweler's brass. So if you are up to the point where you're soldering, you could definitely use our metal for that, okay? It is brass all the way through. It's not plated. They have a lot of weight to them. They look really, and they just look really great. So I think we're gonna start with texturing on the 1-inch brass. Now, I told you that I've literally fell in love with these beads. How pretty are those? And look how nice that picks up that, it's like a vein of a tiger eye in there. All right. So we're going to sink that in the center. You could also use our semi-precious chips in a cluster, which looks really great. And I think we'll do a pattern with the chips in a smaller disc after we do one pair of the round. So you all know the multifunction hammer. The multifunction hammer has different, let me show you. This hammer right here, it comes with different heads, okay? And you can put your 6mm design stamps in there, and that creates more of an overlapping pattern. So we use this quite often, but for today, we're going to take our design stamps, our texture design stamps. Now, this is the sprinkle that comes in that pack. So if you have, when I stamp, I find it scratches the metal. Kim, are you pulling down? Are you dragging too hard, maybe? You might be dragging a little too hard. So this is a sprinkle stamp, which is a texture stamp that comes in your texture, your multifunction hammer. But you could also use that outside your hammer. And then we have, remember I told you those flowers? So one texture pack comes with a large flower in it. And the other comes with a bundle. Do you see that? So they're basically in the same style. So these are two that I've chosen today. Actually, we're going to use with the alchemy. But for my brass, we're going to use this hatching pattern. And I'm going to show you how you can actually do this as cross hatching. All right, so this is a pattern that was in that picture of those pretty earrings, those famous earrings that everybody wants. All right, so we're gonna start. So usually when you're texturing, you know, I have my ball peen here. You're hitting it repeatedly in concentrated areas, okay? What we're gonna do with that texture stamp is we're gonna use our Ergo Angle Hammer. I just wanna pull this up a little bit, guys, so you can see and still read the comments. How does that look? You guys see that above the comments? Some thumbs up? All right, so we're gonna come in. I'm gonna start at the top, okay? And I'm just gonna follow the curvature of my stamp to the outskirts of my blank. Now, if you want to secure your blank down, by all means, you could do so. If you don't feel it's necessary, you don't have to. I like to maneuver and move everything with my finger. So I don't like to tape things down, but I definitely, if you are a beginner, I definitely suggest taping down. So you're gonna take your Ergo Angle Hammer and you're gonna hit it. Now, that's what that pattern looks like, okay? If we were texturing in the texture hammer, the multifunction hammer, I'm gonna show you what that would look like so you could see the difference for our newbies. So with your texture hammer, it's more of a repeated hit on your metal and they overlap. So it would look more like that, okay? With these earrings, I want to do them not in a concentrated area, but I want to control my pattern. So you're just going to pick it up, place it, and you get a more fluid pattern this way. Now, brass is harder to stamp on, guys. So obviously I've been doing this for a while, so I know how hard to use my hammer, okay? What you could do if you're not getting a full impression is tilting and tapping. So you would bring it down, hit it once, bring it back, forward, side, side. And that's gonna ensure that you're getting your impression throughout your disc, okay? Gonna bring that back in. I feel like by hitting it, not in that texture hammer, you have more control over the pattern that you would want. And like I said, it's two very different looks, but with the earrings that you see, this is how I did them. So I basically laid one design down, okay, just like that. And now I'm going to come back in and I'm going to cross hatch it. So I'm just going to go the opposite way. And I feel like I have more control over it. And, you know, because when you're hitting it repeatedly, you have a lot of that overlapping, a very dense area, okay? And with these earrings, I wanted more of a crosshatch pattern. Now remember, like I said before, keep in mind that the brass and the copper are harder metals, so you're going to have to be a little bit more aggressive than you would be with your pewter, alchemy, or aluminum. Okay, so you can see I have really nice clean lines. I don't have that, you know, and I like this also, don't get me wrong, but for these earrings, I didn't want it so concentrated. I wanted more of a fluid pattern, a fluid texture. Okay. Mary Joyce, this is pack number 1. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to put that aside and I'm going to do my next one. And if you see, that's the pattern. If everybody sees that. All right. Again, if you're just tuning in, when you are stamping on brass and copper, they are harder metals. So you definitely want to hit your stamp a little harder. It does give it, yep, it does give it a diamond cut look. Do I ever use a stamping jig? Stephanie, for myself, no. Is that something, a product that you're interested in? I could show you guys the jig on Tuesday, because we are not doing letters today. Yes, it would. That's right, Jenny. It would give you a tire look. It would. Up, Series 3. Sorry. Thanks, Jen. See, I told you guys. I couldn't do it without Jen or Allie, because I gave you guys the wrong information. I thought it was texture pack 1. It's definitely texture pack 3. Stephanie, that's a fully loaded question, because I feel like with the jig, it's more of a, it's really a personal preference. You know, there could be different kinds of beginners. There could be a beginner who has never, and I know this sounds really crazy the way I'm going to put it, but if you know how to hold your hammer, and you've done any kind of work in the house, putting a screw in the wall or hammering something, you know, I think that you could do it without the jig. There are definitely ways that I can teach you guys that you don't need the jig, but if you're that unsure, and you're having a real problem lining, not so much lining it up, but keeping your stamp steady, then definitely the jig is for, yeah, a beginner. But we could definitely, on Tuesday, if you tune in, I could definitely show the jig. All right, so now I'm just going to flip that over, okay? Turn it a little bit, and then I'm going to continue with my texture the other way. Whoop. And I put cream on my hands, which I shouldn't have done. Hi, Stephanie. All right, so now we have both of our 1-inch rounds complete. Okay. And I am going to mark my hole. Now, when you're marking your hole, guys, you could do one of two things. You could take a Sharpie marker to it or any kind of marker and mark your hole, okay? Or you could take a period stamp, the dot stamp, and you could mark your hole that way. What I tend to like to do. All right, because it leaves a little divot in there. Tina. So Lisa said you would be interested in learning how to not use the jig. Okay. So definitely, and I think Tina, oh, I'm sorry, Tina. You could call customer service though. I'm sure they could add that to your to your order. Angie, you finally got the dot stamp. So guys, then I'm going to come in with my screw hole punch. Now remember, these are a thicker gauge. They are 20, they are not 24. You can use, yes, Maureen, you could use the crystal setter to mark your hole as well. You don't want to use the handheld pliers to make your hole. You want to use the screw hole punch, okay? Because the screw hole punch is going to go through your thicker metals. The handheld screw punch from ImpressArt is only for thinner metals. All right, so I'm going to take that in. I'll just bring that up there to show you guys and see that black dot that I made. I'm going to move my tip right over it, okay? And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to turn that, okay? And it's very easy. The greatest thing about this, Julie, it's depending on the blanks that you bought. If you bought the handhold squeeze punch, it doesn't do thicker metals, okay? It depends on what gauge you purchased. If you purchased it from Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of the chain stores, you're going to need a screw down hole punch, even from ImpressArt. Any blanks that you bought that are premium need the screw down. The squeeze is for softer, thinner metals. Okay, so with your aluminum blanks, you're going to definitely need, if they say ImpressArt, you're going to need the screw hole punch to make those holes. So this right here is what you're asking. This is for really light stamping that goes in the texture hammer, okay? If you're doing just one letters on very soft, whether it be pewter or alchemy, one letter at a time on aluminum, this is for very light stamping that goes in your hammer. If you're doing sentences and quotes and names and, you know, you're really getting your jewelry out there, you definitely want to invest in this hammer. All right, so now we're gonna take them to the dapping block. I'm gonna pull my beads out of that cavity. And I wanna give it some dimension. I wanna give it some depth. So I'm gonna dap this. I'm gonna place this right inside the cavity, okay, with my impressions facing the ceiling, okay, because I want it, see my ring? I want it domed, okay? So I'm gonna place my punch right in the center. Let me pull this back a little bit. Put that up there for you guys. So I'm gonna place my punch in the center. I'm gonna take my hammer and I'm gonna give it a couple of nice hits and I'm gonna move it. And then I'm gonna pull it out. So see how pretty that looks? See how it gives it like a really nice, really nice concave, you know, convex shape. And it domes it so nicely. And remember guys, you're not gonna get any marring on the back or inside because your block is a, Stephanie says, ooh, I know. It is much easier, and I'll explain the difference between this dapping block and the wood one in a second. Thank you for bringing that up, Mary Joyce. I appreciate it, because I was just going to forget about that. This dapping block is a state-of-the-art plastic, so it's not going to mar the back of your metal. And what do I mean by that? It's not going to leave these horrible ridges in your piece, okay? And your cap on your punch is made of the same, okay? So it's not going to mar or leave any kind of scratches on your metal. So yeah, so the wood one, the premium aluminum or any of the blanks tarnish. So Kim, anything that is a raw jeweler's metal, like our brass and our copper, is going to tarnish. But you can polish it back up, and I'm gonna show you. That's gonna be my step after I'm gonna polish these up, because these do have a weird hue to them, okay? So now with the wood, and this is actually our patent, this is our dapping block, but we do sell the wood block. And I know many of you have gone to trade shows, and I've taught with this wood before we came out with our design. So with this wood block, listen, the wood is great as well. You have a lot more options. We wanted to simplify the wood for you. So I picked one of the cavities that I know would work perfectly with nesting a necklace, nesting earrings. So this cavity works with all of our metals up to 1.25 inches. All right. You know, you see that ring dish that I did? All of that was done with this dapping block. All right. So Kim will definitely post, there you go. Ask and you shall receive. All right. The wood one does. It takes, what we did here is we simplified it. It took the guessing work out of it. All right. Guys, remember, this is an old school tool. It was used to put backs on watches years ago. Okay. All right, so now you know that it's not going to mar your metal. All right, it's not going to crack, because I know the wood punch cracks at the top. You're going to have that for a very long time, and you could either place it like that on your bench block, put it in your drawer, or store it away like that. All right, so we're going to continue. Again, I'm going to put my blank in my cavity with my impressions facing up. I'm going to put my dap in the center. I'm going to hit it a few times. And you could hit it and pull it out. See how you like it. Compare it. If you're doing 2 earrings, compare it to the other piece that you dapped. So now I'm going to pull those out. You are, Julie, going to have a bigger, yep, you're going to have a bigger space. Definitely going to have a bigger space. I know I saw a question. Okay, so after we do that, okay, you could put any, Sunny, you could put any shape from ImpressArt in this dapping block and dap it. Okay, any shape. You could put an oval, you can put a heart. Let me see if I could grab a heart. I have a copper heart here. Okay, so here are the copper hearts. Just to show you that you could pretty much dap anything. Okay, you're gonna put that in the center. You could pretty much dap any of our, you can't pretty much, you could dap any of our shapes. Okay, any shape that we have. All right, so then I'm gonna take this back. Now, polishing up. So I am a lover of brass, copper. I love raw metals for the simple fact that I could always polish them back up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my super fine and my fine. I'm gonna start with my fine. I'm gonna flip it over, okay? Because it is. All my blanks live in plastic containers. I do have anti-tarnish pads inside of them, but you know, sometimes it doesn't work, okay? So all I need to do is take my fine side first and run it over. And I'm only going to do half so you could see the difference. And then I'm going to take my super fine and run it over again. And you could see, so you see me in here? But on this side, I'm dull. And you really can't see my face all that much. But you could definitely see what I look like in this side. See that? I'm waving. So definitely using the buffing block is a plus. I'm going to see if I have something that is more tarnished so I could show you better. Let's see. Hold on one quick second. Let's see. I pretty much polished everything up, but I will take a look. Okay, so with your copper does have like a weird tone to it, all right, when it's oxidized, all right, and it gets darker. I feel like it gets more of like a pinkish orange tone to it. All right, so you're going to take your fine side first, and I'll do one side just so you could see. Again, wow, this is a much better. And then you're gonna take your super fine. Okay, now you could see it. Does everybody see that? So that's the polished side. So the polished side is on my right. The tarnished side is on my left. All right, so I got some thumbs up and some love, so I know that you guys could see that. But it makes such a difference. Such a difference. Let's see. Actually, you could actually see it in here too. Let me finish buffing that. And then we will compare it to the one that we did not touch. So you see me in there now, and now you don't. All right. So that's the difference, okay? You do need this, Kim. Now you have to build your, you have to fill up your cart. So I'm just gonna take this to the back like I did with the other one, and I just wanna polish it. And guys, also don't forget, I love when I see pieces that are so beautifully polished, but then people forget to do the edges. Don't forget your edges. Your edges need love too, okay? And look how beautifully those polish up. Now, you're gonna get dirty. I know a bunch of you are gonna buy these and say, oh my God, my hands turned black after I use them. Guys, you're working with metal. You can't be afraid of a little bit of metal dust. It's not gonna hurt, all right? Well, ours won't. I'm not sure what's in anybody else's metal, but I can tell you at ImpressArt, we test everything, all right? Here we go. You can polish the concave side, definitely. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come in, utilize your edges. I'm gonna try to get this. So you could see that. I know it's hard to see with that side, but we might be a little bit easier to see on the, here we go. Let's polish one up, and then we will, Dawn dish soap cleans your hands nicely, yes. All right, so you'll be able to see the difference here. All right, guys. So this, you see the tone is different. So this is more of a golden. This is more of a brassier gold. Do we see that? Or do people think I'm absolutely crazy? Okay, I got a heart. All right. Yes, that's the core side. That's the inside of your earring. All right. So there are two different blocks. This is the one for polishing though. This is what you guys want to use for polishing. This is your buffer for your buffing block for polishing. The other block we have is for sanding. All right. And a matte texture. So you definitely want to use your buffing block when it comes to tarnish. All right. Now, if you have something that's matte, yes, Alicia, the medium and the coarse. If you have something that's matte, you could still take your buffing block to it, guys, because it's just going to take your tarnish off. All right. Okay. So in those earrings that we have in the picture, and I'm going to apologize now because I do not have gold ear wire. I have silver. So we're just going to work with what I have. I went to grab gold and I think I'm out of them. So within the next couple of months, guys, you're going to see that we'll be able... Hi, Gina. Yes, Julie, there are, if you go on ImpressArt.com, School of Stamping. Definitely School of Stamping. All right. And I believe we're going to do... we have so many newbies that I think that Jen and I and Allie will, on Tuesday, we'll go over basics, metal stamping basics. All right. So that's what we will do on Tuesday. All right, Julie, for all my newbies. I love mixed metals. Obviously, you guys could see all the rings that I make. Everything's always mixed metals. Always, always, always. All right. So, okay, we'll start our earrings. So what we're going to do now is you're gonna come in and you can leave them nice and plain, just like this, and put them on some jump rings and hang them off your ears right away. Or you could come in like that picture, and I'm gonna mix them because I love copper head pins. So like I was saying, in the next couple of months, guys, you're gonna see, well, months to weeks, you're gonna see that we're gonna be carrying a bunch of different things. So we'll be definitely carrying ear wire and findings and all other fun stuff. So I am going to put my bead. That might not be the best one to use because my ball is a little too big. So you know what? I'm gonna do that anyway. I'm just gonna twist it around really quick, just to hold that in. All right. So we will make believe that my head pin is a regular head pin with a flat head. All right. You're gonna take your bead. You're gonna put your head pin in, and again, I am a metal stamper, not a metal wrapper. So for all of my beautiful friends, my creative friends out there that are wire artists, I'm going to apologize because I'm gonna butcher this right now. So I'm gonna twist it. I'm gonna come down to the neck of it, and I'm going to twist it up just like that, okay? I'm gonna come back in, finish my loop. All right, now you're gonna use your round nose pliers for this. Let's bring that in, and I'm going to twist my wire around just like that. Okay, then I'm gonna come back in with a pair of my pliers, and I could either cut that off, okay, with flesh cutters, or I can just fold it in, and that's what I'm going to do. All right, and that is my center of my earring. So I'm gonna put that aside. I'm gonna grab some jump rings. Well, Lynn, I like I said, I am, it's definitely not my forte. I mean, I get by with wire wrapping. Although Wyatt from Beadalon would probably yell at me because I can't tell you how many times he showed me how to do it, and I like just goes through one ear, comes out the other. So I'm gonna string my bead on, put my jump ring, okay, and I'm going to close my earring. And look how pretty that looks, guys. Look how it sits so nicely in there. They do, Terry, right? I told you, they're beautiful. They are beautiful, okay? So that's one thing that you could do with a concave earring, all right? Another thing you could do is, and then you would put your ear wire on. Now, I'm just gonna show you another way, another way you could make an earring, okay? So what you could do, let's say you wanted to, let's see if I could do this. Do I have the hole? Hole's too low. Let me grab, 1 second, give you guys, all right, perfect. So let's say it does look like a little earth. That's a 10 millimeter, Susan, that's a 10 millimeter bead. All right, and I got them from Crystal Gardens on Long Island, the local bead store. All right, they're really pretty, really pretty. And each one is so different and has different different colors in it. So bluish, brownish, really nice. So let's go back to earrings. all right? Let's say you don't want to use beads and you just want a mixed metal piece of earrings, okay? So right here, we used our vertical lines, all right? I'm going to put that aside, put these aside. I'm going to take my guitar pick shape that already has a hole in it, all right? And I'm going to use, I think I want to go a little different. I think I want to do, I'm going to use 2 of them, all right? I'm going to use my flower, and then I'm going to use my flower cluster, all right? And I'm going to come in, place down, give it a nice hit. Now what I want to do is I want to use both of my flowers. All right, so I'm going to come in, place them where I want, okay? Then I'm going to come in with my multiple flower, and I'm going to go right in between where I stand. And fill in my negative space. All right. So I have flowers. All right. So after I've done that, you can choose to buff before or after, completely up to you. I like doing it after, so you know what, we're gonna leave it until after. All right. I'm gonna come back in. I'm going to put it right in my cavity. Take my punch again. Pull that out. Look how pretty that is. Then I'm going to take my buffing block to it. And this is alchemy that I'm working with. Now, alchemy, guys, it's a soft metal. It holds your impressions really nicely, really nicely. I'm a big fan of alchemy. All right, so now we have that really pretty shiny side of it. What are we gonna do next? I'm gonna double my disc. So I'm gonna double my texture. I'm gonna take my jump ring. Alicia, you could definitely use the enamel on it. And after I put this together, I'll show you guys how you could enamel. All right, so I'm going to take that, I'm going to close it, okay? Now, when you're opening and you're closing your jump rings, you want to make sure that you are twisting laterally, you're not pulling them apart, because you compromise the metal at the bottom if you pull them apart. All right, so here is another earring. Let me grab, let's see. Anyone have any suggestions of what enamel color they'd like to see? Anyone? Any enamel color? We'll color that in to show you guys. Gold. All right, Carly, gold it is. All right. I'm just going to pinch my ear wire back. How pretty is that? Oh God, I have black, brown, green. All right, blue. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit on each to show you guys what it looks like, okay? So we're gonna start with the blue first, and then we'll morph into the green. Actually, you know what? Let's do a little bit of the blue on the gold, the blue-green, right, Lynn? Sorry. And we'll do some gold on the silver. How do we feel about that? All right, I know we did a lot of gold yesterday. So if you're looking at the gold marker, definitely, actually we have more than that. We could do some, we could play with the patinas a little bit. What do you think, guys? Play with some enamel markers? We got brown. Ginny wants brown. All right, so we're playing with markers now. All right, so we're gonna go with, we're going to play around with some gold. And we are gonna go with, yes, Hattie, we carry, it's green, but you know, it's sort of like the dress. When you see it, is it blue or is it white or is it, you know, that whole meme that was going on. You know, and guys, one advantage of using your texture stamps with your hammer and not overlapping them is you'll see your patterns more fluidly when you color them in. Okay? Yeah, Hattie, it's sometimes it's blue to me, sometimes it's green. We have an ongoing thing here. And I'm gonna do the brown. Let's see, where is my brown? I'll do the brown in this earring. Terry likes it better without the enamel. I agree. I like the texture without the enamel also, but, you know, let's just play around today. So with the gold, you're going to dab it, lightly wipe. And now you'll see what I mean. Texture really colored in looks, I think, nicer when you have more control over your texture. Because you see this right here, because it was repeatedly hit in the same spot, it doesn't really take all that much. All right. See, Lynn thinks it looks more blue than green. You know what, Lisa? You're right. We're just gonna call it turquoise. So here is the blue. Again, I'm gonna dab it. Let me bring this down a little bit so you guys could see more. And lightly wipe. All right. See how pretty that looks. All right, and that looks, I think, really great. Oops, against that textured back. All right, so now you could see what I'm talking about between this and this. When you have more control over your texture stamps, your enamel looks better in it. Tina calls it verde green. I like that, Tina, too. I like that. All right. And then we will wipe out our brown, and this happens to look really nice with the brass. Okay, so Kim, if you have problems taking it off, all right, what you're going to do is, see guys, even that brown looks really nice. Seafoam. Seafoam. It does look awesome. Yep, you're right. You are right, Stephanie. You are right. So these are the patinas, guys. And either way, I mean, literally, look how pretty they both look, just by changing that up just a little bit and adding some enamel to it, or just leaving it plain. Leaving it plain. Let's see. Okay, so Kim, you're saying you're having problems getting your enamel off. So this is what I want to show you. So let's say you're using your black. I really should have a little a dryer or a fan here. Yeah, Terry, the brown is really pretty with the bead. Yes, Roseanne, you could use it as a pendant too. Oh, Lena, I'm glad that you love this project. That's what I'm saying. It's very, very simple, guys. You saw how simple it is. There's nothing to it. Nothing to it. And they're just beautiful. And they make great, I have to tell you, they make really great last minute gifts. They really do. You know, if you have that person that's really hard to buy for, you know, what's better than gifting them something that's handmade? All right, so just humor me, Kim. So let's say it's dried on there and you can't get it off, okay? So, and I know some of you had heard me already tell you guys this. You can use alcohol swabs to get it off, but I wouldn't do that, because with alcohol, it's going to take the entire, even in your, it's going to take the black even in your impressions out. Open your black marker again, okay? You're going to hit it again. Wet it with that marker, and it takes it right off. No, Julia, definitely, I could tell you right now, it definitely doesn't take you, would not take you a week to accomplish. Definitely wouldn't. No, guys, come on. They're super, it's very, very simple. And I'm not just saying that, not just saying that. But definitely, Kim, if you're, because sometimes I color things in and I walk away from my bench block and I'm like, oh, like an hour later, I'm like, oh God, I colored them all in. You know, like something I have stamped with words. I literally leave on and I walk away. All you're gonna do is hit it again, right? Dab it. And lightly wipe. All right. So it literally comes right off. And remember, the difference between this enamel and your Sharpie markers, okay? Your Sharpie markers are not formulated to stay inside of your impressions. This enamel is formulated to stay in your impressions. Over time, it's not going to dry up and crack and fall out. It's staying, its chemical makeup is to stay inside of your impressions. Now, if you're having a problem that you can't, that it's not staying in and it's wiping out, it's one of two things. One, you're not dabbing and you're going straight to aggressively wiping, or your impressions are not deep enough. Because remember, your enamel needs to sit inside of an impression in order to stay inside there. All right. We did have a really big sale. We had a Christmas in July sale, Julie, but we will be having another one in September. All right, but definitely sign up for our newsletter. If you go to ImpressArt.com, sign up for our newsletter. So, you'll get alerts when we're live. You'll get alerts if we're in your area and I'm teaching a class. You'll get alerts on all the good stuff flash sales, new product. New product. Yes, I stamped this, oh God, I stamped this about 2 years ago. Yeah, that was just something that was on my block. I just wanted to show Kim. Jalen went broke on the sale. I wanted to show Kim how she could remove her enamel. All right. But yes, this was stamped by me. Each letter, yeah. Yep. Okay, so Melissa, the top is Scarlet Signature. The Who is Scarlet Signature. Wander is Lollipop. And the bottom is uppercase Scarlet Signature. All right. And then these are the rainbow border stamps around it. Thank you, Tina. I happen to work for an amazing company with amazing people, so I'm actually blessed. All right. So there we go. Jen and Allie put that in the comments. Uppercase Scarlet Signature and Lollipop. The Scarlet Signature is 3 millimeter. The Lollipop is 4. The circle is on the blank already. These are our circle blanks. How do you make the blank look distressed? So, Lori, we put an enamel in it. Let me see if I have something that I've messed up. A blank to show you guys. All right, perfect. So I was working on something last night. So after you stamp your impressions, all right, Lori, you're going to come in with your enamel marker and you're going to go over your impressions with your enamel, all right? Then you're going to take a dry household paper towel. You're going to blot it and lightly wipe. And there you go. All right. So I am going to turn you guys around. Put you back in there. All right, here we are, we're back. Ariel, I think they'll could definitely post that link in the comments for you. All right. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you all have a spectacular weekend because this is the last day that I'm with you guys this week. So I will see you on Tuesday, definitely. And the best thing about seeing you next Tuesday is you are going to be at ImpressArt with me. So hopefully we will have some visitors. Or I could take you around and show you around ImpressArt. I need to see doing rings as the one that you had. Alicia, that's a little, my rings are a little bit more advanced. We'll get there, we'll get there. Lynn, shout out to customer service. Oh no, I have to tell you, we have the best customer service department. We literally, I am, like I said before, I am fortunate to work with amazing, amazing, amazing people. And the girls who are in, the women who are in customer service, I know if any of you spoken to Carrie or Leslie or Karen, they are amazing. And Shannon. So if you've spoken to those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women, they are fantastic, and I will definitely pass that on to them for you. So now, Tuesday, we are going to welcome all of our newbies, so make sure that you watch. And if you can't watch on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, you could always watch us on replay. Again, for our beginners and our newbies, make sure to go on ImpressArt.com and fill out for the newsletter. We don't bombard you with a bunch of emails, but we do let you know when something is coming up. All right, Shannon is wonderful. Yep, look at all that. Look at that. Perfect. That makes me happy because I know how wonderful these girls actually are. They're good. They're good people. Good people. All right. So I will see you Tuesday at ImpressArt, and we'll do some beginner. We'll go over stamping jigs. We'll do some sticker guides. We'll go over beginners for mandalas. So we'll just cover a bunch of beginning stamping tutorials, and we could all use a refresher, even my my regulars. So everyone have a phenomenal weekend. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. On behalf of ImpressArt, myself, Jen, and Allie, we appreciate you, and we will see you guys on Tuesday. All right, have a fantastic